Hey, it's Emily Williams here, the founder of I Heart My Life and your host of the I Heart My Life show. I want to invite you to our brand new I Heart My Life Signature Challenge. This is happening live July 6th through 10th, and we want you to be there. We want to support you in creating a life that's better than your dreams. And our ultimate goal is to leave you saying that you don't even recognize your own life. We want you to be able to say those words at the end of the 5 days together. So go to iheartmylife.com/challenge, register for the challenge, claim your bonuses, and dive into our Facebook group and be prepared to be blown away by what we help you create. We are all about you getting in alignment with your desires and figuring out what's stopping you from creating a life better than your dreams. Everything you want is truly possible for you, and much, much more is available for you than you even know. So let's go ahead and create it together during this live challenge. Go to iheartmylife.com/challenge and we'll see you there. This is episode 112, how to identify and transform your money blocks. So this is a clip taken from a recent workshop that we hosted. It was a virtual workshop that was super powerful. It's called the I Heart Money Virtual Workshop. And we helped all of our attendees identify what their money blocks actually were. And then we gave them tangible steps to take to transform those money blocks and to really create new beliefs about money that would help them create more wealth in their life and their business. And this was such a powerful segment of our training that I wanted to be sure to share it here on the show. I also highly recommend, as you're listening to this, grab a piece of paper, take some notes. You can also come back and listen to the replay, obviously, and really approach this like you are at the workshop. That's truly how you're going to get the most from today's episode. And I always say, as people are listening to our workshops, you're not only listening for inspiration, you're also listening for your intuition to share what your next steps are. And then you're listening to the action that you should take. You're listening for implementation. And it's the same thing today with this episode. This is a training we're doing later on this year. And if it's something that really piques your interest and it's something you know you need more of, definitely stay tuned to hear more about our workshop on the same topic later on this year. So let's go ahead and dive in. I want to support you in uncovering what your money beliefs actually are, what is keeping you broke and stuck, so that you can go to the next level in every single way and create more wealth than ever before. So let's do it. So in the spirit of moving forward, we have our third workshop for today. So we are going to be talking all about money blocks. Who's excited? So Sharon says, another dream of mine is to hire and work with world-class high-impact team like Emily's. So Sharon, that is available for you. Okay. So book a call with us. You can learn more about working with us. We have multiple options. So depending on where you're at, we'll tell you exactly what would be the right fit. Okay. So definitely book that call. Kendra said, let's do this thing. All right. So first and foremost, let's get clear on what a money story actually is. I'm curious, is anyone new to the phrase money story or money mindset before today, of course? Is this like a new thing for a lot of you? Yes, no, maybe so. So Nita said, hadn't heard of money story. Yes. Money mindset. Yes. Okay, cool. So your money story. So your money story is essentially that thing that we identified as standing in the way from you reaching your financial goals. Our money story is set when we're children based on what our parents and society teach us about money. Now, this is not about making anyone wrong. Okay. So I don't want you to get off this training and be like, Mom, Emily Williams said that you totally screwed me up. And, you shouldn't have taught me this and blah, blah, blah. We're not about going into blame here. We're about recognizing the things, the belief systems that we currently have that are stopping us from getting what we want. And most likely your parents and grandparents and whoever else taught you this, they were just trying to keep you safe, as we've already talked about previously. But remember, safe also can equal stuck. So we want to look at the programming and the beliefs and the thoughts that are stopping you from getting what you want. And the easiest way to think about this is to think about your money story and your money mindset as a computer's operating system. So we all know every once in a while, our computer or our phone will ask us to update the software. And most of us don't actually update our software in our lifetime until we get to this point where you might be at today, where it's like, you know what? I want to create a new reality. I want to make more money. I want to grow my business. I want to do all these things. And you're realizing there's something that's stopping you. So now our work is to create a new operating system, a new way of thinking. So like a reboot. And the thing is most of us are thinking the same things over and over again. So there's tons of research on the amount of thoughts that we have, anywhere from 10,000 all the way up to 90,000 thoughts a day. And most of them are on repeat over and over and over. And so you can start to see that if you're thinking the same thing, not only the same thing in your whole lifetime, but the same thing that your parents thought and your grandparents thought and their parents before them thought, you can see why that is not exactly a recipe for success, especially if you're trying to do something different. So if we've already identified that your thoughts and your words and your actions create your reality, well, we need to make sure that your thinking is going to lead to the appropriate type of action. And I'm sure that all of you have identified at least one block. Maybe you have a fear of getting on camera. Maybe you don't want to be too salesy. We've even had clients come to us and say, you know what, Emily, I feel like your sales process is really icky. We've had people share that openly. And honestly, that's more about you than it is about me. And so we need to identify what it is that's stopping you from getting the results that you're craving. Okay. So we're going to look at some examples of money stories. And for those of you who filled out the assessment that we asked you to look at before this workshop, we actually had some firsthand answers that came from all of you. So I'm just going to share some of them, obviously anonymously. So some of the biggest money struggles that you identified already before this training was guilt, wondering if you can achieve your goals. You can't trust yourself to be consistent. There's a scarcity that comes up for you. You wonder if you actually have the confidence. You wonder if you're going to run out of money. You wonder if you can actually help your clients to achieve big results. So there's that doubt. You don't believe that it's possible for you. You feel guilt over asking for a lot of money. You feel like you can't attract clients who will pay you for your services. You feel like you're not justified in asking for the sale, and that you aren't justified in asking for the price that you want to price your stuff at, and that you're not deserving of the money. You don't feel like you have enough time to get everything done. You feel like you're not going to have enough money in your business to hire. You have a fear of being successful. You don't know, you think that people won't pay for your services. You don't know how to earn as an entrepreneur versus an employee. You don't know how to level up your business. You wonder if people are going to take money from you once you make it. You feel like an imposter. You don't feel like you're worth it, and you don't have the confidence. So that's a lot of stuff to deal with. That's a lot of stuff going on beneath the surface that's holding us back from achieving what we're actually meant for. Does anyone, has everyone identified at least one block that they have in their life as pertaining to money? If so, can you please share it in the comments? What is a block that is coming up for you? All of those, says Dorothy. Thank you for being honest. Char says, I've been able to get the money flowing, the clients flowing, the business growing, have repeatedly stopped every time it starts to flourish. Just realized my discomfort around receiving money and feeling deserving. Thank you for sharing that. And we will have time for some hot seats later so we can go deeper with that. Okay, so you guys are while you're putting your comments in the chat, I really appreciate that, by the way. Let's dive a little bit more into why this happens. So like I said, our thoughts come from our parents and our grandparents and society. So if you think about it, if your grandparents, say, grew up during the war or the Great Depression, they had a lot of money stuff to deal with. Even if you think about this period of time that we're in right now with COVID and all the stuff that's happening in the world, this is a really intense time. And so it's really important that you are aware of where your mind is going on a daily basis and what you're thinking, and that you don't allow yourself to get sucked into fear-based thinking. Because the truth is we've all created habitual ways of thinking about money to make it super easy for our mind to know what action to take. So if you think about it, when you get in your car, you don't have to really think about driving. It's something you've done many times. You know how to turn on the turning signal. You know how to hit the brake. You know how to turn right or left. You don't have to think about it. Same with brushing your teeth. And so your mind likes to make processes or habitual ways of thinking or habits, thought habits, when it comes to money. And so it literally like pulls into this library of, oh, you know what? Grandma used to say this about money. Like grandma had that pillow that said, he makes it, I spend it. So maybe I should marry a rich man, and it's actually going to be weird if I make more money than my husband. Anyone? Right? That's grandma's money story. But we all bring that stuff into our business and into our lives. And that's why we're not getting the results that we want. That's why we feel ashamed when we make more money than our husband. That's why we feel weird when we make more money than our parents. There's all these rules and regulations around money and what's possible for us, as well as what is appropriate and doable. And like we talked about earlier, and with Nadia, we use our past, and this could be our family's past, this could be our, personal past, to create our goals. We think, okay, well, I don't know anyone who's made six figures, so I should probably just, leave it right there. That's the limit. That's what I'm going to aim for. Or I don't know anyone who's bought a house over 500 grand, so we just won't aim for any more than that. I don't know anyone who has a passport, so I'm just going to forget how badly I want to go to Italy and just, whatever. I'll do that when I come back again and reincarnate. I'm making that up. But you know what I mean? So we have all of these excuses based on what our parents have taught us. And now it's time to break free of those thought habits and recognize that just like any other habit, so maybe you didn't have the habit of getting up at 5 a.m., but now you do that. Maybe you didn't have the habit of getting on Facebook Live every Thursday, but now you do that. Maybe you didn't have the habit of working out every day, but now you do that. So you can reprogram your mind based on your goals. And money is no different. So we want to look at how we reprogram your mind so that you start to think in a different way and attract what it is that you desire. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of amazing comments here. Thank you so much. Right? So Mallory says it's disrespectful to make more money than my husband. Right? Like when we realize that we are operating with that belief system, what about it is disrespectful? I remember when I was speaking on a stage, that was something that one of the ladies in the audience talked about. And she actually had this like weight on her chest that she wasn't home to make her husband lunch. And she was at this event working on her business. And we were like, if your business takes off, you can get a freaking chef. Like, wouldn't your husband be excited about that much more than your like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that you're making him? Right? So let's think about the big picture and what we want to create in our lives. And what's going to happen if you remove this block, which by the way, Mallory, I don't even know that your husband would feel like it's disrespectful for you to make more money than him. He'd probably love it. And you'd be able to afford this great life for the two of you or for the three of you. And, so we make up all these stories in our minds. And what it comes down to is fear. And so what we need to start to identify is, number one, what's the block? But number two, what is the block actually about? What do we think is going to happen if we make more money than our partner? What do we think is going to happen if we become more successful? And I like to call that playing the whole tape through. And so think about the domino effect of your thoughts, or play the whole tape through, however you want to think about it. So if you were to make more money than your parents or your spouse, what do you believe would happen? If you were to put yourself out on Facebook Live, or if you were to say, you know what, my prices are going from 10,000 to 20,000. What is the actual belief right now that's stopping you from making that transformation? Or if you were to think, you know what, I want to create a 7-figure business. What is the emotion that comes up for you? Is it dread? Is it doubt? Is it guilt? I know some of you were saying that you wonder what voicing all of your desires will do for your family. Will it make other people feel bad about themselves? Well, I hope they feel bad. I hope that they see that something else is possible for them. Good Lord, who wants to stay in the same place generation after generation? Your job is to show people what is possible by living based on your desires, living according to your desires. Okay, so let's shake things up. Why do we want to do the same thing decade after decade? That makes absolutely no sense. The purpose of humanity is to continue to move forward and to develop and to grow and to improve. So shake it up in your family. Show them what's possible. Okay? So I want you to really start to think about what it is that's holding you back and what is the belief system that's stopping you from getting what you desire. And to remember that truly anything is possible. So one of the things that I shared on the last workshop, totally, not by accident, but it wasn't planned. I pulled up this little graphic here, and I love this because it illustrates possibility in a different way. So, I shouldn't have shown you this. I should have asked you to guess first. Oh, thank you. James just made me a green juice. Anyway, so this is the record for the most nonstop pushups. Okay. 10,507. 10,507. Do you like 10, like I can't even do 10,000. And I share this because I want you to have a dose of what's possible. And so when we're sitting here thinking about our money goals, thinking about all the stuff that's stopping us, you might go into this place of, but I should just be realistic, right? I haven't done it yet, so it's probably not possible. I'm just going to be realistic. I beg you, please don't be realistic when it comes to your desires. Don't be realistic when it comes to your life. Okay? There are far too many people out there living in a way that's realistic. We need the people who are going to step up and be extraordinary and not only show all of us what's possible, but show future generations what's possible too. And that's the thing. When it comes to sharing these stories, when we hear from people like Nadia, or we hear from our team, or you hear from people like me, it normalizes it. It makes it normal to transform your life in 6 months. It makes it normal for you to transform your life in 2 months. It makes it normal to do 10,000 pushups. Somebody's doing it. It opens your eyes. And so I want you to shift from what's normal in your family to creating a new normal. What is your new normal going to be? And then you surround yourself by those people who have what it is that you want. Sometimes it's actually in person and you're meeting up with them and you're going and doing masterminds or whatever else. Sometimes it's virtually like this. Sometimes it's literally focusing on people who inspire you. Maybe that's the Oprah Winfrey's of the world or whoever it is who has something you desire. But you're consistently reminding yourself what's possible. That's one of the reasons why I love looking at houses. We talked about me going and doing that $9 million house. Well, I don't stop there. You know that on Zillow, there are houses that are 29 million and 75 million and 100 million. Like, that exists, right? Anyone? So when we surround ourselves by the people who have that, or even the vision of it, it's like, okay, I'm going to wrap my head around that. There are actually people out there buying $75 million homes. There are actually people out there staying in hotel rooms that are $5,000 a night. There are people out there buying first-class tickets. So one of the examples Nadia gave you was what I talked about at our event. I talked about the fact that I would make my way down the aisle on the plane. I'd go back to the very end, to my economy seat right by the bathroom, all squished, try to find room for my tons of luggage in the overhead compartment. But of course, it was already taken. And I would pass all of the people in first class. They'd be sitting there. They'd be sipping their champagne. They have tons of leg room. They'd be smiling. And I'd think to myself, what have they done that I haven't done? What do they have that I don't have? And what I realized was they literally just made a different decision. There was an opportunity for me to upgrade far sooner than I ever expected. Are you guys, when you go to the airport, I know we're in a different situation now, but when you go to the airport, are you even asking if there's an upgrade available? When you get the opportunity to spend an additional $40 on your extra leg room, are you like, oh no, not for me? That's a waste of money. Well, whose belief is that? Is that your belief or is that your parents' belief? Is your desire to have extra leg room? Right? This is how we realize what it is we actually want. If money wasn't even an object, what decision would you make? Would you book that first class seat? Yes, you would. Don't anyone tell me that you wouldn't. So that's how you know what your true desire is. Take money out of the equation. What is it you actually want? If everything cost exactly the same, what decision would you make? People do this all the time when it comes to working with us. Oh, I'm going to dip my toe in the water. I'm going to do the $47 a month membership, right? People always tell me your mastermind is like go big or go home. Well, yeah, it's meant to transform your life. It's meant to change your life. It's meant to grow your business. Why would I ever not be the go big or go home person? Why would I dip my toe in the water? Like it doesn't compute to me. So you need to ask yourself, what mentality are you in right now? Are you in the mentality of, oh, I'll just give it a shot? Or, oh, if I happen to be gifted an upgrade, then great. Well, no, ask for the upgrade. Ask what's available. Book the hotel room. Put yourself in a different category. Don't wait for someone else to do it. You make a decision. And so that's the work we're doing here today, is getting clear on your blocks, but more importantly, what needs to change for you to shift that, and to remember that anything is possible, and to remember that there are people doing 10,000 push-ups at a time. And there are people who are staying, like every time I go to book a beautiful hotel room, it's like, oh, this is sold out. This is sold out, fully booked, right? There are people staying in these rooms. Look on Zillow or whatever it is that you use. Look at these houses. There are people buying these every single day. There are people who go to restaurants and they don't drink wine like I used to before they go to the restaurant to save money. They actually look at the menu and say, what do I desire? Not what can my bank account afford me? So you get to decide, do you want to stay in the same place that you've always been in? Do you want to create this perpetual lack in your family, generation after generation? Or do you want to shake things up? What do you want to do? Yeah, let's hear in the comments. Shake things up, go for it, live your best life. Tammy says she's a wine snob. Love it. Shake it up, baby. Awesome. Beautiful. Okay, so what I want you to do now is take a second, and you've already identified some of your blocks, but I want you to think about one block that you know right now is stopping you from creating the life that you desire, or stopping you from creating the business you desire. What is that one block? Just one thing. Okay, write it down or put it in the chat box, whatever. We just need to identify it. Kimberly says, moving from employee to business owner. Melanie says, not willing to increase my prices. So let's get clear on what is the block here, okay? So let me just work with you a little bit. If your fear is moving from employee to business owner, identify what is that fear. Is it not being able to make money as a business owner? Is it putting yourself out there? What is it? Same for the not willing to increase prices. What is the real money block or belief system that's happening right there? Is it because you're worried that no one's going to pay for your services? Tammy said, I deserve to have a thriving business that affords me all I desire. Okay, great. So is your block that you're undeserving? Caroline says, people don't pay new entrepreneurs. They want to see 10,000 followers. Wow, Caroline, I'm going to say it's amazing because it's super specific and we can do so much with that. So the belief is people don't pay new entrepreneurs and I'm not going to be successful and get paid until I have 10,000 followers. So, okay, I'll come back to that. We have fear of not knowing how to get in front of people so I can afford my services. Great. Melanie, great. You got a bit clear with that. Dawn says, my block is that I keep starting strong and then pulling back. The block is I'm okay to not be wildly successful. I don't deserve to get back to multiple six figures. Thank you for sharing that, Dawn. Okay, great. So we're going to you've identified these blocks. Monique says being worthy. Carlton says scarcity mindset. The brand is scaling rapidly, but my anxieties are holding the brand back from breaking through 10 to 20K. Great. Thank you for identifying that. Tamara says, I can't be Christian and rich. Anyone have religious beliefs that stop them or hold them back? Yeah, that's a huge one. So fascinating, right? I don't want to get myself in trouble, but a lot of this is due to oppression and due to certain organizations wanting you to stay small and stay dependent on them, right? So fascinating when you look into this. Fear of relying on myself instead of relying on my employer. Thank you for identifying that. Okay, so you guys are getting clear on your blocks. Now, if this is not clear for you, you can definitely do more with this evening. And I highly recommend that you do because this work is never done. We are always being invited to look at our blocks and to look at the things that are stopping us from going to the next level. And all that means is you literally are on the outside looking in. And you ask yourself, what is happening right now? I'm going into fear around money. I know I really want to book this ticket, or I know I really want to invest in this program, or I know I really want to book this call, or I know I really want to go house hunting, but something's holding me back. Then you're literally on the outside looking in and observe what it is that you're thinking. This is not about getting emotional about it. You just want to get in reality around what are the thoughts that are currently holding me back? What are the thoughts that are coming up for me that are stopping me from making that progress? Okay. And I'm going to give you some simple tools to shift that in just a second. But first and foremost, you need to become the observer of your mind. Does anyone know that they are not their mind? Yeah? Yes? No? I didn't know this. So you are not your mind. Your mind has been programmed to think in a certain way. So let's become the observer. So Larissa says what? So you are not your mind, because if you think about it, we are able to take a look at our thought habits. We are able to take a look at what's going on in our mind. We can see what it is that we're thinking. Right now, I'm thinking about this presentation. Right now, I'm thinking about all of you. Right now, I'm reading the chat box. I know what's happening. So I have the ability to be on the outside looking in and say, you know what? Right now, my mind is telling me that I'm not capable. My mind is telling me that I'm not good enough. My mind is telling me that it's not possible for me. My mind is telling me that my husband's not going to appreciate it when I make more money than him. So you can see what's going on, but you can also be on the outside looking in and decide to take different action. Even if your mind is telling you that doesn't mean you have to follow it. You get to decide if you want to take a step in a different direction. If you want to put yourself out there, even though your mind is saying you're not good enough, you get to make that decision. So one of the things that I highly recommend you start to do is to flip the switch. Now, flip the switch basically just means that you are changing the way that you are thinking. Just like you would flip a switch on and off, right? You're creating new ways of thinking. So let me give you some tangible examples here in just a second. Okay, so say you're saying, like we have one here that says, people don't pay new entrepreneurs and that I need to have at least 10K followers to make money. So that's a belief system. So you literally flip the switch on that. So the new belief would just be the opposite. So people pay new entrepreneurs all the time. People are paying me for my services. Again, you make this your own. You figure out what resonates with you the most. And I make money regardless of the amount of followers I have. Right? So we want to think about the opposite. We want to retrain our mind to have a new way of thinking. Now let's do another one. So what if the belief is no one wants to buy from me? So you literally retrain your mind to believe my ideal client is on her way or his way to me now. I make more money than ever before. 6 figures in 6 months is my reality. Whatever the phrase is that gets you so excited and gets you moving in the right direction. Because if you think about it like this, if you have the belief I'm never going to pay off my credit cards, guess what action you're going to take? Probably no action. It's going to feel like a complete struggle all the time. So we want to figure out what it is that's going to get us into action. So maybe the new belief here is I'm a successful female entrepreneur and I'm paying off my investments as we speak. Do you see how that's abundant thinking versus do or die, like this is doom and gloom, never going to happen, not possible. So then you're literally not even looking for the opportunity. So anytime I come up with a challenge, whether it's financial or otherwise, I'm like, okay, so I know there's a solution here. I know that the money's here. If the desire is here, the money's here. So let me make a plan. Let me figure it out. Let me ask the questions as Paula shared earlier. Let me ask the questions of someone who knows more than me. And they can show me how I find the money. They can show me how I buy the house. It's just math. Okay? What about this belief, no one will pay my prices? Then you retrain your mind to believe that you are being invested in. Your clients are investing at this level. People will pay me $10,000. And this is what else you do. You create that new normal. You surround yourself by other people who are selling $10,000 packages. So we have this in all of our groups. Like I told you, we have Success Friday. People share their celebrations throughout the week as well. We had somebody who just had the opportunity to be on a television show. She had her first casting call. What if you're seeing people in your group sharing these wins? And it's like, oh, I didn't even know that was possible. Thank you for telling me. Thank you for showing me. Thank you for showing me it's possible to have an $80,000 month. Thank you for showing me it's possible to have a $50,000 sale. All of that is stuff people do in our programs all the time. So you have to ask yourself, what is the social circle that you are in at the current moment? What are the beliefs of your spouse, of your family members, of your friends, the people you spend the most time with? We all know the saying, you are who you surround yourself by. You are the combination of the 5 people you are around most often. Who are those people for you? This is really important because you're going to leave this container after tomorrow and go back to your real life. What are you going to be surrounded by? And it takes a lot of work. Like Nadia said, she broke up with her boyfriend. She knew that relationship was not in service to the vision. It was not in service to her highest good, her greatest good. I'm not saying you need to go and end a relationship, but ask yourself, who are you spending time with? And maybe there are some people who right now, they're not actually at your level. The energy is a mismatch. I don't hang out with people that aren't at the same level as me. And that's not trying to be a bitch, but I'm really protective of my energy. I'm really protective of my time as well. So I'm only going to be around people who believe in me and build me up and inspire me. Okay. So really consider who you're spending time with. So flip the switch. That's one of the ways that you can transform your money mindset. The other thing that I highly recommend is that you put up Post-it notes around your house. Now, I know this seems super simple, but if you just have a Post-it note with your financial goal, with the new way of thinking, that, the mine, for example, when I was doing this work for the first time, it was, I always have enough money for all my desires. Right? Then I wanted to reach that 6-figure by my 30th birthday goal. So then that was my goal. And I used to make little notes for people who signed up to be in my programs. If I had a certain financial goal for the program, I would put numbers on this little piece of paper on the fridge, and it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so on and so forth. And then I would fill in their names as they signed up. So anything you can do to have this front and center in your mind. So again, you're saturating your mind with this new way of thinking. Anything you can do to make that happen, do it. Like Nadia said, she recorded the video. Have alarms on your phone telling yourself, I always have enough money for all my desires. I am a money magnet, right? I'm creating a 6-figure business now. I'm moving into abundance. Whatever the phrase is, the more specific, the better. Have that pop up on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. I used to lay in the shower and listen to this audio on repeat that had tons of money mantras. And I still do that sometimes. It's super fun. Okay. You can read books. We gave you books in your workbook. So you can look at those books. There's tons of books on money mindset. In particular, I love the book, How Rich People Think. The author, Steve Seibold, he went around the world and interviewed self-made millionaires. And he talks about the difference between how somebody who's wealthy, somebody who's been, self-made and created this wealth, how they think compared to the ordinary way of thinking. Now, I want you to understand that these money stories, some of them that you've already voiced here today, we call them common money stories for a reason. This is how most people think. And so you need to make a decision here today, what action you're going to be taking to make sure that you don't fall back into the common way of thinking. Because that is truly one of the one of the things that could happen. It's truly one of those things that you could fall back into because it is a common way of thinking. So what we're going to do is put you into breakout rooms in just a second. And I want you to talk and share openly about what your number one money block actually is, and then what action you're going to take to make sure that you start to transform that way of thinking. Now, if you don't know what action to take, this is where you bounce ideas off of your partner. So say your money block right now is, I don't have enough. There's never enough. Or I don't have enough clients, or no one will pay for my services. Or once I raise my prices, no one's going to, sign up. So figure out what the opposite is going to be, right? What's your money block and how can you transform it? And then what is the action you're going to take to stay in that new way of thinking? Now, one of the schools of thought when it comes to health and weight loss is to not actually deprive yourself of any type of food, but instead to fill your plate and fill your belly with as much good food as possible. Then your body's not actually hungry for the junk because it's already satisfied with the good stuff that you fed it. Right? So the more vegetables, the more good food you have in your fridge, of course, your body's you're going to eat that, your body's going to be full, and there won't be the room for the cookie and whatever else. So think about it in that way as well. How can you saturate your mind with this new way of thinking? Could it be vision boards? Could it be recording yourself, sharing openly what it is that you want? Could it be the Post-it notes? Could it be reading the books? Could it be joining one of our groups? Could it be creating a partnership with one of the ladies that you meet on this program or on this workshop? There's a million different ways. So really brainstorm what you're going to do to stay in this high vibration, to saturate your mind in this new way of thinking, okay? And to continue to take that action. I hope you loved today's episode. It's definitely my favorite topic in the world. Money, desires, what could be better? So if you are ready for even more, go to iHeartMyLife.com. We have our iHeart Money course. We have our signature course that's coming out very soon. We have more workshops coming up. So literally everything you could possibly need to create more success in your life. And I'll talk to you next time. Thank you for listening to the iHeart My Life show. For more inspiration, success tips, and ways to achieve your life and business goals, definitely follow me on Facebook and Instagram on I Heart My Life Now. See you next time.